Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily dose of all things geek news from geeks like you. I am your host, Summer Punch, and with me we have Chuck. Say hello.
What's up, everyone?
And we have Sintel here too.
What's good?
Thanks for joining me today, guys. Let's jump straight into it. So let's start off with SAG news. SAG is a Screen Actors Guild. It is now getting into the influencer business. This is pretty huge. This has a big impact on the industry, so you'll need to keep a close eye on if you are hiring influencers, repping influencers, or are one yourself. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit more about that?
I find this very interesting for the simple fact that influencers are technically not actors. They're technically not actors. They're not even actors in the reality sense of the word of reality actor. Mm-hmm. So I guess SAG wants all the monies.
Well, they're unionizing. Isn't that a good thing? They're being protected. They work together. Like, why is that? What's the downside here?
They have to pay fees to a union.
It feels like a money grab, one. Two, the importance of a union is to be protected as the little person, right? But I'm wondering, how are you going to enforce those protections to an influencer, especially, when you're on formats like Instagram and YouTube and podcasts? Like, what are they going to like kick the door down of some 12-year-old Twitch streamer and kick down his camera light because he didn't hire a SAG actor? I don't understand how that's going to be enforced. So I'm sure there is an answer for that, but it just feels like a money grab. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I honestly believe that it's that SAG-AFTRA is going after the money, because most influencers are independent people. They don't work for any unions. They're here trying to make money. It's like the gig economy, and in the industry, and the union comes and says, "Hey, we're going to represent you all, and you got to pay us some money."
To me, that sounds like a good thing, right? Like, being an influencer, they can make a lot of money, but it is also very tough. It's ripe for exploitation. These are young people that need, that could use the benefit of the structure of a union. I mean, this sounds like a good thing. And in general, unions in America have gotten weaker and weaker. SAG is one of the few powerful unions that are left. I know they're kind of a pain in the ass to deal with sometimes. I know that on the business end of things, they're definitely very cumbersome to experience. But I don't know. I think I'm pro-union on this one, guys.
But is SAG going to go to somebody that has 20 subscribers and say, "Hey, you got to pay them a certain amount of money"? It's going to drive people off the platforms.
Yeah, like if you're PewDiePie, this makes absolute sense. It makes perfect sense if you're like,
right, yeah.
PewDiePie. But if you're just like some young streamer and you're trying to hop into the union before you even get an established following, I just don't see how that translates. And
I don't understand how this is going to protect them from bad deals. Like, if Mountain Dew comes to you and says, "Hey, we're going to give you $50,000," they go to somebody else and give them $1 million. Them's are the breaks. And the NBA and the NFL have a hard time doing it. So I can only imagine how hard it's going to be for influencers.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting. I want to know the terms. What are they offering these influencers that nobody else can offer them? Or they can't just go to WNBA or one of these CAA and get somebody agent to represent them. I'm really curious about that.
Everything you just said. We just need to know more.
Yeah, we need to know more.
We need to know more before we accept the terms of this proposal. All right. Let's move on. We found out we need to make a correction to something that we said yesterday on the podcast or the live stream. Pedro Pascal is actually set to headline The Last of Us as Joe. Yesterday, we mistakenly said it was Mahershala Ali. Guys, now that we have resurfaced this news bit for today, what do you guys think of Pedro Pascal as the lead as role anyways, instead of Mahershala?
I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay with Pedro Pascal to do it. I don't think he's old enough to play Joel. He doesn't look old enough to play Joel, but I'm okay with it. I'd rather see Hugh Jackman do it, but that's just me.
Okay.
I think they could have cast it better, but I get it from a business standpoint. Pedro Pascal is the hottest thing out right now. Like, he's
so hot right now. So hot right now.
But
are you saying it because he looks hot, or are you saying it because he is hot?
I mean, why can't it be both? Why can't it be both?
It can be both.
His career is on fire right now.
His career is on fire.
Yeah, but it feels like they could kind of like overuse him, for that. Like, I get it from the money standpoint, but then I also think about that performance in Wonder Woman. Ooh, that was the bad wig and the So it at least shows us that he's human. I do appreciate that. Okay, well, even Pedro Pascal can make some bad choices. So.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you get to go for the money grab.
I feel like he's got a good look for it. You know, he's got that like sexy ruggedness to him that I think is kind of perfect for Joel in that kind of setting. In The Last of Us, for our viewers who haven't seen it or haven't played it, it's a zombie apocalypse type of game. So Joel is a very like he's like a sexy dad kind of vibe, you know, like
I think he has a sexy dad.
That's from my perspective. He's got a sexy dad vibe.
Okay.
You know, daddy. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
She's like,
okay. Look, she's gushing out Pedro right now. Boo.
Save me, Pedro.
Save me from the zombies.
Oh,
I'll go anywhere with you, daddy.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to reel it back in. Let's move on from there before we start getting too rambunctious. Thinking about Pedro. Okay, so Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones has been cast as Ellie in The Last of Us. What do you guys think of that?
I am so ecstatic about this. This has me going. Lady Marymount as Ellie. I think she's going to be a badass Ellie.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a great casting. So for those of you as reminder, Lady Marmont was the fiery little feisty one. I think she had like a killer scene at the beginning of Game of Thrones, completely owned Jon Snow in that scene, dominated everybody's entire existence. And then because of that strong performance, she actually wrote into the story much more based on that strong performance and the beloved fan reaction. So her as a strong female, young actress being played in this Ellie role, I think is actually a great idea. Cynthia, you got thoughts on that?
Yeah. For one, I think something that's really big is her age, because she was really young when she debuted in Game of Thrones, or at least she looks like she's really young.
Little.
If this is going to be a series that's not going to be a one-off series that's going to continue in, I think this is like a good year after she did her last performance. So I think she can age into that character, whatever the future of that character is going to be. I know I'm over here trying to future-proof it and stuff, but she obviously has the chops. Obvious.
Oh yeah, I think she may act a hole in everybody on screen, including Pedro Pascal. He's gonna be eye candy. That's what he's gonna end up being on screen next to her. She kills it. She kills it.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm looking forward to seeing what she does. I think this is pretty good casting for it. I'm excited myself. So on to other news. In case you had your head in the sand for the last month, GameStop had a pretty wild month in the stock market. Just to recap on that news, I don't know, actually, I just got myself into trying to explain what a short squeeze is. Okay, anyways, GameStop stock went kind of nuts for a while. And at the time, you guys probably already watched it in the news and everything, but GameStop had reportedly failed to capitalize on their own surge of their stock prices, apparently because of regulatory concerns that maybe that they should not be capitalizing. I think that they were probably taking a safe approach, but they did not get to cash out like so many people online did. Sintal, you got thoughts on that?
How do you miss with that?
Because you don't.
You were gifted an out. Like they had $270 million worth of debt before this happened, and then your company blows up to like 10 times its worth, and you don't dig yourself out of the hole. I'm like, huh? Because
stock doesn't translate in good business practices. They were done already. And I think what happened was that they might have had the high stock value, but you have to have a buyer. Nobody was buying on it. And if they sold more of their own stock, that means they lose more control of their company. So the idea is we still have to maintain a certain level of control.
And apparently it was due to regulatory concerns, but they decided against selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock, as users on the subreddit with Wall Street Bets sparked issues for hedge funds and short sellers. People familiar with the internal workings of GameStop had suggested that the company couldn't do much more than watch as all the chaos ensued to their own company. GameStop's market value shot up from $1.4 billion on January 11th to 33 billion by the 28th. Yeah.
I think I would have met with the SEC and just sold everything, but like, F it. This is what we did to save the company.
But you know, 29 billion new reasons to try and work it out, right? Like that type of excess cash. Come on with something.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that Squidward meme where he's like looking out of the blinds and he sees SpongeBob and Patrick out there having like a really good time. GameStop is Squidward. Like everybody else is like banking off of this and they're sitting at home grounded and
Yeah, I think you said it best. Scared money don't make money. And I mean, in the world where rules always change, they should have went on and went for the glory.
Too bad they didn't. We feel for you, GameStop. Okay, in other news, Suicide Squad spinoff The Peacemakers gets the green light from HBO Max.
Ooh, I don't even know how I feel about this. I feel all kinds of way about this.
Did you see the picture of John Cena dressed up as the Peacemaker?
Yeah, I seen it.
Mad corny. He looks real corny. It looks like a bad costume from The Watchmen or something like.
Can I be honest? I wish DC just sticks with animated properties at this point. Just animated properties. Give me more DC movies, DC TV shows that are cartoons. Don't give me anything else.
I think it's going to live and die by what happens with Suicide Squad. If Suicide Squad ends up being a bust, then more than likely this will be a bust with it. And like you said, DC's strong area of expertise is in animation. So I have no expectations for this whatsoever.
Animation and Batman games. Stick around those two things. They'll be all right.
I guess we'll see what's next with them. In other gaming news, 6 Days in Fallujah announcement trailer has just come out. This game was previously slated for development and then also previously canceled due to controversy. I recommend that everybody check out the trailer for this video game. It's pretty intense. It takes place in Fallujah, Iraq, and it is a narrative exploration of the 6 days of, I believe, the first 6 days of the invasion / liberation, however you want to look at it. It looks pretty intense. It looks like a gamified documentary. And I have a lot of thoughts on this, but Chuck, will you go first?
Man, it's just exploitation again. I mean, you're playing a war criminal. That's what you are. I mean, you're technically taking orders from a government that was not slated to go into another country, invaded another country, and you're talking about 6 days of clearing out the city of insurgents, which is people trying to protect their homes at the end of the day.
I think we might need a fact check on that. I think it might have been ISIS invading Fallujah. So I want to be a little bit more cautious before we say that part of it. So I think that there was definitely reason to defend the city. However, the U.S. was involved and Western military was involved. And, a lot of people call that an invasion nonetheless. So it is I mean, we all know the Iraq War was controversial, right?
Yes.
But I hear your point nonetheless. It seems to be a glorification of American military people in Iraq, in a war that was really controversial, and the one that we probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. And do we really? And this is a recent story too, within the last 20 years. I just question, do we really want to be gamifying these types of experiences? This seems like acceptable as a documentary and something that I think I would encourage people to engage in as a movie. But what are the ethical implications when you put gunplay in the hands of consumers and allow them to shoot, unnamed Arab men?
Yeah.
For our viewers, I'm an Arab woman myself, so this kind of hits home with me. I just see this as nameless Arab people getting gunned down, and I feel a certain type of way about it.
From the trailer, it talked about actually kicking the doors in every house and going through every room and flipping everything over. And they're like, the people are shooting at us. Well, when you kick somebody's door open in their house, they're going to shoot at you. I mean, could you imagine if there was an alt-right group in the middle of Los Angeles and and let's say that the Russian military decides, hey, there's alt-right group there. We're going to kick in the doors of everybody there. And let me tell you, every American with a gun is going to shoot back for somebody kicking in their doors.
Point taken. Point taken.
And there's definitely a lot more of a personal element that's being added to this on both sides. I just want to I'm also gonna be devil's advocate just for the sake of good argument. So the trailer, when you watch it, is taken from the perspective of this event that these soldiers had to go through, and from my understanding, the narrative is to see it through their eyes of walking into the unknown. But and although I respect that narrative, there's something really dangerous, and you hit the nail on the head, Summer, and that is, for one, this is a different type of battlefield. This is more like of a guerrilla warfare type of thing, where you're walking in people's homes where people live. There's more stronger emotional attachment to these people being just massacred like animals, but you're walking through their homes, you're seeing where they eat, you're seeing dirty dishes and stuff.
Exactly.
So it's creating this emotional attachment and also detachment, because if you're just somebody that doesn't have any idea of wanting to connect to that, and you just want to shoot and kill people, which, let's just be honest, that's what's going on in a lot of these games. A lot of people just want to shoot. Then you're shooting something that's very real in its field, in its scope. And I think that could be really dangerous, because you don't really see those people for what they really are. You're just trying to put holes in people.
Hopefully this game has more of a conscience, and it bangs on your moral code as you're playing through it. Like, you actually feel like, oh my God, I'm invading these people's homes.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like they're trying to do that, but I don't know if that's going to convey in real life. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's a little generous too. I did that's not what I was getting from the trailer. It just seemed like the heroic tale of taking the city in 6 days. And I think it is important. I hear your point on people's homes, right? And I think it's important to remember that just because we see Iraq on TV as a war zone, that doesn't mean it was a war zone before it became a war zone, right?
Yes.
So they were entering into people's homes where they live, where they share family meals together, where they raise their children together. These are people's personal, intimate environments. And in this video game, you are violating that space. You are killing these people. And it's not a war zone yet, but you're creating it. And that is something that I think maybe the viewer might not quite catch unless the developers demand that they see it that way, because we are so conditioned to see Iraq as a perpetual war zone. But the thing is, it was once a beautiful city. It has history, ancient history, longer than ours. And I think that's often not respected.
When you destroy a sovereign leader of any government before it's ready to change hands, the warlords do step up and they fight of all kinds. They come in from all directions. Bad actors that didn't exist, they all of a sudden exist, and they garner people behind them. It's a power struggle. So, our government helped topple that and change that government. Better or the worse, and the worst did happen. We saw religious organizations, we saw non-religious organizations, we saw other countries trying to invade and try to get power of that country that has a wealth of history and a wealth of natural resources.
I think it's interesting to see the interest, I suppose, in this recent history, but I wonder if it's a little bit too much too soon, on possibly exploiting the trauma of people who have just recently experienced this and are, as a result, refugees or maybe not even alive today. I just wonder, should we really be making this into a video game? Again, I come back to my point of thinking that as a documentary, that's one thing that should maybe even be explored and encouraged. But as a video game, I don't know if we should be making this stuff into a game. I just think if it reeks of exploitation, and it just makes me uneasy.
It's definitely too soon.
It's too soon. Definitely too soon. Well, let's see if it gets canceled again. It was canceled once before for controversy, and it seems like the controversy is still there. On to lighter news, Nintendo. Rarely offending people. Nintendo is now offering a free one-on-one consultation to tell you what games you should play next. This is going to be offered to people who are not familiar with gaming, who don't know where to start, maybe parents of young children who don't know what to buy as a Christmas gift. They're going to just get on the phone with you and tell you what you should play. What do you guys think of this?
This used to be a service I think Nintendo used to offer way back when NES launched. So it's nice to see this come back, especially because what do parents do? They go to Best Buy or GameStop and it's like, my son is 8 years old. What should I give him? They're like, give him Call of Duty. They're like, okay. And the kid plays Call of Duty and they're like, what? Give him Grand Theft Auto. So this is something Nintendo can call up and say, they can say, what games does your child play?
Yeah.
Right.
How far did they finish that game? Oh, they didn't finish that game. We suggest this game.
I really like it. It feels like accessibility in a way where, it's offering some help to people who are just unfamiliar with gaming. And, as somebody that works in the industry myself, you have to meet people where they are. And I love it that they are trying to do that in this way. I just feel like it's extremely helpful. And it's just like, it's exactly something that Nintendo would do. Just be nice.
Yeah. I know they used to also help people get through hard parts of games too. They used to help you get through them. They just tell you what to do when you get stuck in a game. So hopefully that comes back too.
It kind of reminds me of the old days of Nintendo Power. I'm really aging myself, but it was one of the very first gaming magazines. And the beauty of that is that it was really personal, and everything from the quick, easy tips to how to beat the game, knowing what's coming out next. And now, especially coming off of the heels of the PlayStation 5 sellout and people calling customer support and speaking to robots being put on hold, not getting the world's best customer service, here comes Nintendo on the heels of that saying, well, we're going to focus a service that is going to be one-on-one that can make you feel like you're a part of this family, kind of like how Nintendo Power used to make you feel. And this is the best way of getting to know your customers and coaching them towards products and services that Nintendo may be strongest at. I think it's a really smart move.
Yeah.
Clever indeed. So in other news, Jack Black joins Borderlands movie cast as Claptrap. In addition to the Jamie Lee Curtis news that we talked about yesterday, what do you guys think of Jack Black being added to the cast?
Man, they got Kevin Hart, Jack Black. I'm saying, what is this, Jumanji? We're having Jumanji all over again?
Feels like it. It feels like it.
With Jamie Lee. Come on.
We're gonna hear like day after tomorrow, The Rock's gonna be in it.
The Rock's gonna be in it. He's gonna be Soldier or somebody in it. It's gonna happen. I think Jim Faranda. He was the original. He's the new voice of Claptrap. I think they should have just used him as a voice actor.
Okay.
Having Jack Black come in doesn't add any flavor to it when he's going to have a robotic voice.
You're not about it. Okay.
I'm not about it at all.
It's such the easy win, right? Like if Claptrap's voice is all you need, then just get Claptrap's voice. I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like Jack Black. I think he's funny. But if you're going to do the game, at least add a bit of a purist aspect to it, right?
Yeah.
Add the original person's name. It's like, can you imagine, like, you're watching a Halo movie and you don't hear Cortana's voice? It's gonna be a different voice. Like, why would you even go that route when she's known specifically for her voice? Claptrap specifically for its voice.
Yeah. It'd have been easy. I mean, they're gonna have Rock come as the Berserker and somebody come as the Siren. I can hear this now. It's gonna be a whole cast full of Jumanji all over again. Yeah. It's gonna be Jumanji meets what's the movie? The hot tub one. The time machine hot tub. It's gonna be that together. That's what it's gonna end up being.
Well, are either of you gonna watch it based off of what you're hearing so far? Are you going?
I'm gonna watch it because of Borderlands. I love Borderlands.
I'm gonna watch it because it's Borderlands. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. I'll still watch it. Fine with Jack Black. I was gonna watch it anyways. Doesn't matter. I mean, Borderlands is great. I'm excited to see it come into a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so trailer for Zack Snyder cut of Justice League debuts tomorrow. You guys excited for that?
You know it.
You're the only one excited for it.
You're not excited. Why not?
It's gonna be a 6-minute trailer that's 3 minutes too long.
Yeah, you know what? And that is what I expect. This trailer should be like 10 minutes long.
See, it's gonna tell us all the plot points of the movie. That's what it's gonna give us. All the major plot points of the movie are gonna be in that one trailer because it's Zack Snyder.
Hey, I'm here for the hype train, man.
Oh man.
Get on
You're here
it.
by yourself.
Get on it.
It's like 12 days of Christmas. So if they're gonna give me like a cool little train, they already released some of the pictures of Superman's black suit. So, that was enough to keep you salivating a little bit. But when we see this trailer, come on, that's all everybody's going to talk about tomorrow. That's all everybody's going to talk about.
We'll have a conversation about it tomorrow. We'll bring it up after we see it. Let's see tomorrow.
Let's check in tomorrow about that one. Yeah. HBO. Okay. I'm so excited for this. I lost my shit when I saw this news. HBO announces House of Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel that takes place 300 years before the original story. Production starts in April. I cannot wait. Okay, I have feelings on this, but I want to hear from you guys first. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Let me jump in real quick. I need some redemption from this franchise because I love the books. I'm a huge R.R. Martin fan. I loved the series, but that last season, the last two actually seasons. I love it at its core, and I want to see it redeemed. From my understanding, is one of the directors of one of the Emmy-winning seasons is going to be the showrunner. So I'm hoping that she's got that winner's mentality. And can bring us home, please don't mess this up, because it's such a cool universe. It's such a cool world. I need them to get this right.
Yeah, I hope they do.
I'm going to have my skeptical glasses on this. I'm going to be against it. I'm like, only thing I really care to see is the dragons. Outside of that, I don't think I want to see nothing else. No story. Don't give me nothing but dragons burning people all day long. I mean, I want to see, it got to be 100 deaths every episode for me to truly, truly enjoy this.
I'm somewhere in the middle, okay? Because I got excited about this, and then I immediately remembered the pain and the suffering of the last two seasons. I was so disappointed, and I'm still mad about it. I'm still fucking pissed. I'm sorry, but
and that's why I don't want to see this.
Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh God, that was such a good joke. But
it's like having a perfect relationship. No. And the last 2 days of that relationship were the worst 2 days of your life.
Yes. And that's exactly where I'm at. I feel like we are caught in this abusive cycle because I want to go back to him, but I know it's not good for me. I know it's going to end poorly.
I'm not that self-toxic. I'm ready to just stay away from it.
Yo, I'm signing up. I want to believe you can change. Different.
We'll see. We'll put it on binge worthy. We'll do it on binge worthy.
Game of Thrones. Bring on the toxicity. I'm ready for the pain. I'm ready for the pain.
I'll let y'all have that. Y'all can have that.
Gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. So back to something a little less toxic. Disney. Let's make it light again. Hits 94.9 million subscribers. Disney Plus. Sorry, nearly 100 million subscribers, beating their 4-year goal in only 14 months.
What?
That's a lot.
I mean, we are in COVID season. And you got kids at home. You can't show them everything on Netflix because Netflix is kind of grown. So you got to show them all those Disney classics.
I feel like you're downplaying this.
I mean, I commend it as an ex-employee of Netflix. I understand where it happened. You had somebody break the world record, and you're just coming in second at a faster time.
I feel like we can scoff at their numbers once we have 100 million subscribers on our stream. Subscribe.
You gotta spread the word. We need some links for everybody.
Yeah.
No,
But I commend them for their effort to do this. But
14
months. Centil, jump in here. Come on. I think Disney Plus needs some defense.
Man, that's insane, dog. I've never heard of that type of growth, man. 14 months. And they had that as their 4-year projection. Come on, dude. I think
kids haven't been to school in 12 months, you guys.
Netflix needs to.
And they had The Mandalorian. Mandalorian is hot. The Mandalorian is hot. The Mandalorian got a lot of those subscribers, I'm pretty sure.
But remember, that's how Netflix started too. Remember, they had House of Cards. That was one of their first big ones. And then Orange is the New Black. It started with a few good original series, and then it kind of boomed from there.
Yeah. So if they keep their momentum, if they keep coming with hot series, they'll be top dog. They just got to keep hot series. And Gina Carano didn't make it easy for them.
I don't even think they're not even in their final form yet. Like we haven't even seen full phase 4 MCU come through Disney.
We haven't. We haven't.
That's what I'm saying.
Exciting.
I'm like, and you already got 94 million on deck on top.
Yep.
Netflix needs the only company that I think shouldn't be concerned is HBO Max, because they got quality content, and so does Disney. I'm not trying to shit on Netflix, but let's be honest, there's a difference in the quality of the content as compared to those two other platforms.
Yeah, because they're content creators. That's what they did first. Netflix is still catching up to create good content.
Right.
Yeah. But Netflix is at 200 million worldwide.
I feel the Netflix pride coming from you pretty strong right now.
Hey,
Chuck's not impressed with you, Disney Plus. Chuck's not impressed.
I know Netflix is bread and butter. We'll see what happens with Disney Plus when student and kids start going back to school. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they come with MCU content that's great, because Falcon and Winter Soldier looks amazing. I'm excited about it. That has me excited. WandaVision, I was excited about that too. So WandaVision right now is one of my favorite shows that Marvel's ever made.
They're just getting warmed up, fam.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
All right.
I think everybody realized they got to throw all their properties on streaming services and say F the theaters going forward.
Yes, they do. Yeah, that's definitely where the future is. It's where it's been for a while. Definitely the right play. Well, until then, we're not impressed with you, Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max, because watch out, we're gonna be 100 million subscribers soon.
That's right.
To all our people in the chat, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you can. Thank you for supporting us. That concludes our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow us here on Twitch if you can. If you love what we're doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your account and sub to us using Prime Gaming. It costs you nothing, but it helps us out. It helps us out a lot. We'd like it a lot. Please follow us on our social. That's Instagram, The Geekish Network on Twitter, and The Geekish Network on Facebook. You find it, just Google Geekish Network. You'll find us. All right. Thanks again, everybody. That's it for today.
Peace.